Today I'm gonna show you how to dye with some dandelions. You know, that me and my sister picked some from outside. I was originally gonna do onion skins, but dandelions are easier to find outside for like people who are in quarantine, you know? You don't have to go take a trip to Walmart or anything. And I mean, you're outside and you can go outside instead of being stuck inside. I picked, let me show you how much I picked. Let's see. This is how many I picked. And then my little sister got her a little like bunch. So I have to crouch down. So Dandelion should get you a yellow color on cotton fabric, and I'm sure usually if you can dye it on cotton fabric, you can dye your, like, let's say your BFK paper for printmaking, or basically any type of paper that will not care about getting too wet or a little bit wet. Again, it should be yellow, and this is my first time doing it, so let's hope I don't fuck up. I've done enough dyeing to where I know how this should go. And if it doesn't, maybe it's something just to dandelions. But okay, got our fabric here. It's cotton fabric. Cotton fabric takes the dye better than anything most of the time, because sometimes it will fade off if it's not cotton. So if you are doing fabric, I recommend cotton. And you have to prep the fabric first. I got a bowl of water over here. Big giant bowl. Put it over here. The stove isn't on right now, but you know, just decided to, so you guys can see the bowl. I'm gonna put it there. So with this bowl, you're gonna want to take some soap. Put a little bit in here, you know. I guess mix it up a bit. I'm just gonna use my hands because I don't care. And then you're gonna put your fabric that you're dyeing in here. And your fabric should be pretty much all the way submerged. Of course it's fabric and it will float up. So there's that. I usually leave it in there until I have to put it into the dye bath. So we got the fabric into the friggin' prep stage right here. And now we're gonna fill this pot up with water. I'm not gonna fill it up all the way, only because I didn't get that much dandelions and I'm not gonna dye a lot of fabric. But if you're dyeing more fabric and have more dandelions, then add more water. They should be pretty much like proportionate to each other. If you don't, then if there's like more water than dandelions, a lot more water, then you're gonna get a lighter yellow. If you have more dandelions than water, well, yeah, it should be darker, but you still want your fabric whenever it gets in here to be also submerged. Nothing should be really like be sticking out of the water, or else you'll get like uneven dyeing. So yeah, we're gonna fill this pot with water. Okay, so I have a pot of water over there. Now it's time to dump our dandelions in. There's also more in there. Okay, and back to the topic of what kind of pot you should use. You should use a pot that will be non-reactive, so it shouldn't have any rust on it. That's the main point. And also, some metals will change the color of the dye, so you should look it up online, because let's say you're dyeing with pits, you might want something that is reactive. It all depends on stuff, and I meant avocado pits. Different things that will get you colors will be like avocado pits will give you a pink, but you have to slowly let it heat up for the best pink. I mentioned earlier, onion skins also produce a yellow, depending on the skins. If you have more purples or red skins, then it'll be more towards that color side instead of yellow. Mint will give you a cream color if you're not using any, like, what are they called? Mordants, I think. But I'm gonna try later on to get a green from that. Then there's the skins of an avocado will also give you a pink. The roots of a dandelion will give you a brown. Most nuts will give you a brown. And literally just look up natural dyes online, and there's like a whole bunch of blog posts that give you like step by step, a step guide. And it's kind of like cooking. If you can cook, you can dye. It's easier to dye stuff than cooking, actually. But yeah. So we're gonna turn on our stove. Again, I'm just turning these sides on. This is still here. I'll move this over here. Yeah, turn that on. And where are the towels? My rag? Here it is. So yeah, for most dyes and like dye baths, whatever you put in there, you want to bring it up to a boiling point. Most of the stuff does better if you slowly bring it up there, but that can take a while. And if you're in a hurry, the only difference is if you go faster, it's just going to be like most likely a lighter color. Again, if you're trying to do it with something else, then I would recommend looking up online, because again, there's pretty good resources online. So we have our dandelions in. Probably make it go into a boil in what, 30 minutes. Then I could strain the dandelions after we reach the boil if I don't want any like little excess stuff in there. I'm getting onto my fabric. So I could strain it, or I could leave the dandelions in, because straining it is an extra step. I don't know, might be lazy. And for those of you who are thinking about dyeing paper and you're like, wait, how am I going to put a piece of paper in that pot? I would recommend after it cools down, or when it's warm-ish, transfer it into like a flat tub, and then you can soak your paper in. Most people will do it, let their paper soak in for like 15 minutes. Again, it depends what kind of color. I'm sure if you dip it in, take it out, it would be toned yellow either way, but again, light to dark when it comes to time. Of course, there's a certain time where it won't reach a darker yellow, because that doesn't exist in the bath. Okay. Yeah. Also, don't use any use a wooden spoon if you can. I have been banned from using my mom's wooden spoons. So I'm gonna do what every other fucking, natural blog post dyeing thing people do. They grab a stick. So go outside and find a stick. See, you don't even have to go buy your own wooden spoons. to Walmart. Go outside, go chop a fucking branch off your tree. If you don't have any trees, then just walk a bit until you find a tree, and then maybe there's some twigs there. But yeah, this will be our little stirring thing, so we can stir everything together. So yeah. I'll get it back to you guys. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and put this lid on, so it boils a little bit faster, and I'll be back with when it comes to a boiling point. Okay, so the pot has reached its boiling point. I let it stay there for a little bit, like I brought it back down to simmer and let it stay there for a bit, because it seems like slow and steady is the best when it comes to the dandelions. I had to go outside and grab a lot more dandelions, so you want a heck ton, like big old pile of them, to get the dye to look yellow, the dye bath to look yellow. I'll insert pictures later on it. But yeah, get more dandelions than you think you need. So I've drained most of the water out of this, and I'm gonna pop the fabric in there. And the stove is off now; it's cooling a little bit. And I'll just probably leave the fabric overnight. And tomorrow probably, or maybe later on when it's cooled even more, I'll add some paper in it. Also, it seems like it's going to be a pretty light yellow,